Weekly video presentation. This week is financial planning. So our given scenario is upon graduation from college, us and some of our classmates, we decide we want to start an FBO. There is a local airport that is putting out a request of proposal for other firms to bid on operating the FBO at that airport. So for this assignment, we are considering how to get some additional funds. We realize that we need some more money, and we'll be going through the process of figuring out what working capital, equity capital, and debt capital are, and what is the best way of getting that money. So working capital is going to be funds to cover day-to-day operation. There's a light broken in the hangar. You need paint on the door. Working capital is the best way to fund that. Just think of it as a normal credit card, but for business. It's a business line of credit that allows businesses to transition through different situations very smoothly, and you don't have to worry about coming up with funds right away. However, there is usually higher interest rates involved with those, and some institutions require the business to pay that line of credit off periodically, such as every quarter or annually. They want it to be fully paid off. So that could add some complication down the line if you're not doing the math. Equity capital is we receive some funds in exchange for some stake in the business. As you see, we got a pie here, a picture of a pie, and the hand that is the venture capitalist, or angel investors as they call them nowadays for tech businesses. They come in and they grab a piece of that pie. However, they provide you with a good amount of cash that you might need at the moment. My favorite way of doing that is pairing up with friends and family. It's better than a bank. Next, we have debt capital. So this is like a traditional personal loan, but for a business. So SBA loans, traditional business loans, government grants. There is a lot of fundings, grants for FBOs out there. So those are some other ways of getting some funding available to the business. They usually come with lower interest rates, longer payment plans. However, you do need a collateral. And it could be used to preserve cash. Since the interest rate is so low, sometimes it would make sense to borrow some money so you can hang on to your cash as a business in case you need that to buy a plane or some equipment that could actually generate more money than the interest rate you're paying. So that is also a very good way. It is secure, and usually SBA loans are available for people that for certain size businesses. So for our FBO, we would like to maintain control over the business. So I would focus on buying some property on around the airport or for the business, use those as collateral to gain some debt capital. And we can also use friends and family, as I said, as investors. And working capital would be a last resort for when we find need for it. However, I prefer to keep debt at a minimum. And the reason for that is our weekly biblical integration. Proverbs 22:2 says, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." I understand this is a loaning sort of economy. Everyone's borrowing money and paying it off. However, at the end of the day, when times get harsh, we've seen over and over again, it is important to be debt-free, and that's going to be your ticket out of suffrage. All right, here's my reference, and thank you so much for watching this week's presentation.